Hey everyone. To kick things off, I'm here with Mr. Dave Dussault of several different companies. We have P1 Manufacturing, Piston. What would be great is maybe if you could open up and tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what each of the companies do.
I'm David Dussault. I'm the CEO and founder of P1 Ventures, which is a holding company that has multiple manufacturing companies that we own. And those manufacturing companies all have a couple things in common, right? They're contract manufacturing companies that do CNC machining, welding, fabrication, assembly, electromechanical, all for the power industry, the military defense industry, and the aerospace industry. So what we do fundamentally is we make parts to blueprints for companies like GE is a large customer, Triumph Aerospace, Electric Boat, Rolls-Royce, Siemens, Westinghouse. Those are the types of clients we work with. They come to us and they want solutions in terms of how to manufacture the products that they need to put into their final products. And so today we have about 70,000 square feet spread across multiple locations in Schenectady. Right now, I think we have about 121, 122 people on payroll. And again, those are the three primary industries we work in. And we started the company in 2006.
Nice. I know you have an absolutely phenomenal internal human resource team, internal recruiting team. Why did you feel the need on some of these roles to partner with VANTA Partners and go outside of that internal need, which sometimes a lot of companies will shy away from that, but what was the driving force behind utilizing VANTA Partners?
First and foremost, our internal recruiter is phenomenal, right? She's excellent. She's aggressive. She has a great track record. And a lot of the folks that we actually recruit are direct laborers or blue collar. I hate that term, but that's kind of what we do. So the vast majority of people that we recruit are machinists and welders and fabrication engineers and supply chain people and everything else. And she's phenomenal at that stuff. But last year, we grew over 50% in terms of revenue. We knew we needed to augment our leadership team. We needed to bring in folks from outside our industry, folks that have pretty significant experiences running larger organizations, building teams, and those kind of things. And we typically know that those people aren't really looking for jobs, right? Those are the folks that are always gainfully employed. They're successful wherever they go. So I had met Dean a number of years ago. I love Dean's energy. He's a hyper entrepreneur similar to ourselves. One of the things we talk about in our company is we are industrial entrepreneurs. We love solving problems. We're go get after it. We are aggressive with building counts and sales and teams and executing. And that's what I kind of saw in Dean, right? Dean is that one of those guys that will hustle, grind, and do whatever it takes to find the right fit for whatever role we have. And he'll do it 24 hours a day. And I love that about him. That's kind of how we operate. And I wanted somebody to operate. And I don't like those folks who are 9 to 5. I'll give you a call, text, email, phone call, whatever it took to make those things happen. So I approached Dean and said, look, we're augmenting our leadership team and you have a lot of track record, a really good book of business, good experience finding and identifying high-level leaders that could help, take our company to the next level. And so we hired Dean to hire first our VP of supply chain, who is a very, very valuable member of our team today. He's been with us since last May. His name's John, and John was a pretty high-level president at another corporation. Dean engaged him, reached out to him, got bought into our vision, and it kind of took from there. Also hired a quality leader and some folks in sales at Piston and other things. So we wanted somebody with a book of business, with a Rolodex, somebody who was a hustler, a grinder, an entrepreneur, and I knew that would get the job done and work at it until it was completed the right way. And that's why we aligned with VANTA and started working with Dean.
That is fantastic. I'm blushing, by the way. So thank you very much for that. That's really cool. And I really appreciate it. So in utilizing VANTA Partners now from an external perspective, you have your own internal process, right?
Sure.
Bianca's absolutely freaking phenomenal. But now in partnering with us, was the process to utilize us easy? How did we augment what you had going on internally? And how did you benefit from that?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Obviously we have internal processes and systems for once we identify a candidate and how do we flow them through the interview process, the orientation process, all those kinds of things. When I approached Bianca and said, look, because obviously she's excellent what she does. And hey, we're going to bring an outside firm also to help augment the search for really, really talented people. And there's always a little bit of pushback, and that's normal and everything else. But what I love about how it worked out is you kind of ingrained yourself into our process. And instead of saying, this is how VANTA does things, you said, how does P1 do things? And let us adapt to that. We don't want to come in and reinvent the wheel for you. We know you have a successful process. You have a successful team doing these things. We want to become part of that team and treat us like we're an extension to your team, that we're going out and lead genning. We're going out and finding new candidates and identifying really, really good people people that we can plug into your process and hopefully create value for you. I've talked to a lot of other recruiters, and they'll send you their process and say, this is how we do things. And you're the first one that says, how do you do things, and how can we augment how you do and create value for you without you having to reinvent what you do? And I thought that was a really, really important selling point for us. So that, aside from personality, hustle, grind, that mindset of being an entrepreneur, it was really that adaptive and customer-centered mindset that sold us on. And it worked great. Like I said, I think we did 3 or 4 key hires last year. We would have done more, except we hired a lot of leaders last year. Yeah. And we're kind of growing in these blocks, and we're probably another 6 to 8 months away from starting to look at some high-level hires again as we launch some new divisions and stuff. But I really like that. I like how you said, hey, I don't want to step on Bianca's toes. She does a great job. We respect her. How do we support her? How do we serve her? How do we make her life and your life a little bit easier instead of trying to get you to adapt to what we do?
A lot of internal HR and recruiting teams will say, and they don't realize, we're not trying to take your job. We're not trying to make you look foolish. We're trying to help when there's a couple of roles that you just can't get to, or they're beyond your expertise, or you need help, right? There's 37 open recs to fill. You can't get to them all. So me having the experience of working at Apprenda, where I was internal HR and bringing on external recruiters, to being like, oh, well, I can do this. I can fill this, just give me some time. We were in hyper growth. We didn't really have time. Now, owning my own external recruiting agency, I always want to be seen as a partner. I'm not trying to make you look silly. I'm not trying to compete with you, right? I'm here to help. No, I'm here to
on that point, let me talk to that point for a second. So if you think about who in life wouldn't want more at bats, right? When it comes to sales, more leads are better. When it comes to deals, more deals are better. People are always willing to cast a wide net when it comes to trying to create and build and grow their businesses. And in every facet of a business, you outsource something, right? So we do internal finance. I have an internal CFO. I have an internal controller, but we still have an accounting firm. I have a number of suppliers. We're a manufacturing company, but we have a ton of machining suppliers that we still use to augment our capacity. When we get overloaded with work, or if we're getting behind on something, and we can augment it by working with our partners, say, hey, we want you to take these 6 products for us, and can you make these on time for us? So why is it when it comes to HR, recruiting, and hiring, why wouldn't we want more at bats, right? You have internal processes, you have internal systems, you have a team likely internally who is empowered to go find good candidates who run an internal process. But why wouldn't you want more people giving you more at bats, and who might have access? When it comes to talent, when it comes to people, it's the most important thing we do in business is who we hire. And why wouldn't you want to cast a wider net and work with companies like Vanta to really give you that advantage to not only identify and recruit candidates internally, but bring some folks from the outside, or some folks from your Rolodex or your experiences or your background? And that doesn't make sense to me why people wouldn't do that, because we've taught forever, you got to network, you got to build networks, you got to make more relationships, you got to get out there and meet people. You never know what meeting's going to lead to this. You know people that I don't know. You see and experience things that I don't see or experience. You're connected with companies, as far as I'm concerned, across the United States that you've interacted with. You can find and see things that I will never get access to. And so that's how I view the relationship and the partnership with a company like Vanta. How does it get me more at bats? How does it extend my network through working with that relationship to get me more candidates to better augment my team and identify better people?
That's awesome. I may start using that in my repertoire. That's really good. And I appreciate that. How likely would you be at recommending us, and why?
Yeah, 100%. What's a net promoter skill? I'll put it all the way to the top. I tell Bianca all the time, we've been hiring a lot of machinists lately, right? So we have a pathways program. It's a long cycle sale. We're not trying to identify seasoned people in the labor pool because they just don't exist, right? Machinists don't exist. So we have to identify them in junior high and high school, and then we bring them all the way through college and cultivate the workforce that way. So it's a little bit different that we don't partner on. So why would I recommend Vanta? Why would I recommend Dean? Is because I just love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. I love the we can get it done kind of attitude. I love how passionate you are about connecting excellent people with excellent organizations.
Yep.
I like how you take that personal, right? And the fact that one of the things that really struck me early on is when we were starting to work together a little bit, I think we had a dialogue, and you said, tell me about your vision. Where do you want to take the company? What's important to you? What's your values? What's your culture? What's the systems of belief that you have? And I like that. Why would I recommend it? Because you don't get a lot of that. You get a lot of people to come at you and say, we can do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to grow your business. I'm going to do it. We got this process. I want to hear, hey, we're here to serve you.
Yes.
I've got systems. I got a team. I think we can execute well for you, but we also want to support you in the ways that you need to be supported. And I think that's really one of the main reasons why I'd recommend Vanta.
Awesome, man. That's really good.